The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are walking tall as they come into Cincinnati after a big win over the St. Louis Rams Monday night. They meet up with a Cincinnati team that's still looking for its first win of the season. It's the NFL on Fox, Tampa Bay at Cincinnati. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen, along with two-time Pro Bowl nose tackle Bill Moss. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're right where they want to be right now. They've won 2 in a row. They played a terrific game Monday night. But this has the makings of the classic letdown game for them. They come in against Cincinnati, who's 0-3, and trying to find a way, and Cincinnati's trying to find a way by changing quarterback.
Oh, you're right, Sam. Week 4 in the NFL primarily always is upset week, and that is because all defenses have seen everything an offense can possibly give the prior 3 weeks. But what Tampa has not seen is Achilles Smith. Dick LeBeau and his coaching staff, after playing Atlanta last week, must have sat there on the sidelines and said, wait a second, look at Michael Vick. We have a guy like this on our sidelines, and we're not doing anything. Let's see if we can put him in and make something happen. But in order to get him going, they've got to get this guy going, Corey Dillon. And to beat the Buccaneers defense, you run directly at him, right between Sapp and McFarland, right downhill. You don't want to go outside on the perimeter and let that fast speed of their linebackers get to you. You want to attack them right down the gut. They're going to see a dose of that today.
Now, John Gruden has taken over in Tampa Bay with an offensive philosophy. It's starting to get going, but the heart of the Tampa Bay team is the defense, and it starts with the front four.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's this, about the 5th offensive coordinator Warren Sapp's had since he's been there? That really doesn't matter. The heart and soul of this team is the defense. And if you look back through history, this is one of the only teams I can remember, that and the '85 Bears, whose team, the heart, the pulse of the team is the defensive line. As goes the front four, as goes the Tampa Bay Bucks, period. Offense and defense.
Before we get to the game, it's time to answer this week's Sprint virtual coach question. Which 2001 non-playoff team will make the playoffs this year? You can vote using your Sprint PCS Vision phone, which I'll give to Bill to vote on, or you can log on to foxsports.com.
Thank you, Sam.
The Cincinnati Bengals are looking for their first win. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, looking to make it 3 in a row, will be set with the open Adams. Philadelphia beating Houston expected. Pittsburgh, Cleveland tied late in the fourth quarter. The Jets have lost 3 in a row, haven't scored a touchdown their last 2 games. Look at Kansas City over Miami, and they've widened that lead. Detroit is about to beat New Orleans, another of your upsets, Bill. And Chicago and Buffalo back and forth. They're tied late in the fourth quarter. Bengals to kick off. It's Neil Rackers to receive his Aaron Stecker for Tampa Bay, and we're underway. Stecker, 2 yards deep. Straight ahead. Good power. Stecker averaging over 27 yards per return, gets up to the 30-yard line. Take a look at Tampa Bay on offense. Offensive line, Kerry Jenkins fractured a bone in his leg, and he's ready to go. Didn't practice until Friday. He's starting. Cornell Green starting for Kenyatta Walker at right tackle. Deshaun Johnson and Keenan McCardell, the wide receivers. Ken Dilger, the tight end. We'll see a lot of Ricky Dudley. Alstott and Pittman in the backfield. And Aaron Stecker opens up and goes wide to the left, with Pittman the lone setback. And it is Michael Pittman, and he's stopped by the middle linebacker Brian Simmons, bursting through to make the tackle. Check out the Bengals on defense. Up front, Justin Smith got his first sack of the season last week. Tony Williams, Oliver Gibson. Vaughn Booker is out. The Keogh Spikes, Brian Simmons, Adrian Ross. Bernard Whittington is starting for Vaughn Booker. Hawkins, Hall, Armour, and Burris are the secondary. 2 tight ends in for Tampa Bay as Brad Johnson checks off. Ken Dilger and Ricky Dudley. Johnson rolling and completing to Keenan McCardell. A flag on the play as he's brought down just across the 30-yard line. Jerry Austin is our referee, his 21st year in the NFL, and it's against Tampa Bay. Dick LeBeau says no, refuses.
From an illegal formation, the tight end moved off the line, no wide receiver moved up. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is 3rd down.
You know, the one thing you're going to see a lot of, watch it, right here is Simmons, and right here, I'm sorry, that's Spikes and that's Simmons. I want you to watch what these two do. One's going to come in, and then one's going to follow behind. That's called a cross dog. Now, Tampa Bay picks this up, but this is going to be a blitz. We're going to be seeing a ton of blitzes out of Dick LeBeau's defense.
Bucks with 3 wide receivers on 3rd and long. Johnson gets time and throws from McCardell with a beautiful catch. Across midfield into Bengals territory. He's down at the 44-yard line. Jeff Burris took him down. Great grab by Keenan McCardell. Pickup of 24 on the play.
Here's Keyshawn Johnson. We'll take a look at Keyshawn. Keyshawn's going to take his route deep. There's Lamont Thompson he's got running down there. And then underneath it comes McCardell. Tony Williams is at the feet of Brad Johnson as he lets that go. Some good pressure inside, but that ball was right on the money.
Bucks have Allstott in the backfield with 2 tight ends. And it's Mike Allstott barreling for about 4 yards before he's hit at the 40-yard line. Justin Smith made the stop. That last pass to McCardell was the 7th play of 20 yards or more for the Bucks. John Gruden gets his offense rolling. He seems like he's starting to feel good about the offense.
Well, they're coming together. I mean, this is a completely new offense for all these guys, and they're learning it. You know, and it takes a while to get it down to where it's just like the back of your hand. You know what to do, whatever you see. You see all the formation changes you're seeing. That's one thing we're seeing a lot of that cost them already with the penalty.
The toss to Stecker. 2 blockers in front of him. Makes the turn. Stecker down the sideline is knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line by Jeff Burris. 2 blockers, Christie and Oben, leading Stecker around the corner.
Well, around the corner is right. I want you to watch his opening. Michael Pittman, number 32. Sam, take a look at 32. He's out wide. He's going to be out here. And he's going to come in here and just blast that corner. See that? He gets a piece of Bernard Whittington, the end, and that springs that whole side open. The one thing that Tampa Bay does have is they get good perimeter blocking from their specialists, whether it's a wide receiver or a back.
Allstott and Pittman in the backfield. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. Pittman lost the ball. Picked up by Jeff Burris. Excuse me. Picked up by Artrell Hawkins. Up to the 45-yard line.
That may be fumbled again, Sam.
And now they look to the bottom of the pile. Bengals have it, their first turnover, their first takeaway of the season. And that was big with Tampa Bay driving. You can see how upset John Gruden is. Pittman never had the handle on the ball.
No, this is a fake reverse, and the ball gets in his stomach, but I think his eyes were looking at the hole. He never closed down on it. Keyshawn Johnson was coming around the backside on a fake reverse. The ball is in the stomach of Pittman, but he just does not.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
Big turnover for Dick LeBeau's team. They finally start in good field position. They've been starting deep in their own territory a good portion of this season. They start from the 44 after the fumble recovery by Artrell Hawkins. Straight ahead, Lorenzo Neal across midfield. Lorenzo Neal spent 1 year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1998. Derek Brooks made the tackle. Bengals offensive line, Scott Rayberg starting for Mike Goff at right guard. Richmond Webb, 184 games, 183 starts in the NFL. Chad Johnson and Peter Warrick, another different tandem at wide receiver. Neal and Dillon, the running backs. And Achilles Smith is the quarterback. And his first pass is complete to Peter Warrick. Inside the 40, down to the 35. Well thrown, good catch by Warrick. Achilles Smith, who has played under 1 quarter in the last 23 Bengals games.
You know, here's a little 3-step drop. You get a little curl to the inside, about a 10-yard curl pattern. Peter Warrick in front of the zone. There was nobody underneath him. He was in front of the zone defense behind him. He just settled in, and that was a nice throw.
Dillon and Neal in the backfield. Ball at the Tampa Bay 34-yard line. Toss to Dillon. And a good job by Warren Sapp of fighting off Lorenzo Neal's block. And he got help from Anthony McFarland to make the tackle.
Yeah, well, they're trying to run, and Sam, they've got to run downhill. They can't run the perimeter. I'm going to show you what happened here. Lynch comes up in the box. See, there's Johnny Lynch right here. Now you have 8 men in the box. They check to run, and they try to get this thing out here. When you run to the outside, look at the pursuit coming this way. There's no way you can get to the perimeter with the Tampa Bay Bucs on this. You have to go right downhill at them like they did the first play of the game.
3 wide receivers for the Bengals. At the 39, the toss goes the other way to Corey Dillon. And he's slowed down, falls forward to the 36-yard line. Greg Spires, defensive end, made the stop. Look at the Bucs on defense. Strong up front, Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Anthony McFarland, Greg Spires. The linebackers, Derek Brooks had the hamstring injury, but he's making his 100th consecutive start. And the secondary led by the outstanding play of Rondé Barber. Brian Kelly injured his shoulder last week. He's okay. Dexter Jackson and John Lynch are the safeties. And Greg Spires was slow to get up after the play. Looked like he hurt his hand. Shaken up. Ellis Wims will replace Greg Spires.
He's not a bad player himself. Those two, they split time pretty much between Spires and Ellis Wims. And both those guys are competitive guys. I mean, they're both very, very good. They could go to any other team and be a starting left end. They're exceptional at what they do in this scheme.
Wims was a 6th-round pick last year out of Mississippi State. Spires was a free agent pickup, having left Cleveland. Bengals have to get to the 24-yard line for a first down. 5 defensive backs in for Tampa Bay. Out of the shotgun. The blitz coming, and Shelton Quarles took him down. The pass thrown away, and it's intentional grounding. Shelton Quarles, the middle linebacker, busting right up the middle on the blitz, was all over Akili Smith.
Yeah, and Akili has to recognize this sooner. He sees them coming up. Here's Shelton Quarles here, and then here comes Rondé Barber on the outside. And you've got more rushers than you have protectors. And when you see them cheating towards the line of scrimmage as a quarterback, you've got to know. And if you're going to get out of the pocket, get out of the pocket. If you're going to throw it away, throw it away. But you shouldn't take that sack. Now look at the differential you have now. Where they were at the line of scrimmage before, Sam, you can at least attempt a field goal. And it would have been about a 46-yarder, but even still, you could have attempted the field goal. Whether he made it or not, who knows? Now look what they've got.
Nick Harris to punt. Shelton Quarles was credited with a sack. Tampa Bay's 11th of the season, and they've had at least 1 in 48 consecutive games. Harris with a good punt. Carl Williams lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone and through for a touchback. 51-yard punt, but the net is 31 yards on the touchback. So each team has had the ball once. The battle on the outside. Brad Johnson gets time, swings it out to Michael Pittman. Avoided Brian Simmons. There's a flag on the play. Tackle made by Juwan Armour, number 33, the strong safety. Check out the flag. The official ruling on that previous play, which originally was scored a sack, has been changed.
Offensive pass interference. Number 87 blocking downfield. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
It's against Keenan McCardell. So there was no sack on that play earlier. They've taken it away from Quarles. Ruled intentional grounding on the play and an incomplete pass.
What happened there is McCardell started blocking downfield before the ball was thrown. As that thing was in the air, and he engaged the safety downfield and was blocking on the underneath run.
Darian Barnes is in at fullback for the Bucs. We're now 1st and 20 at their own 10-yard line. Bengals show blitz, and it's coming. Pittman stopped as he got to the line of scrimmage. Good job, Bernard Whittington, number 97, playing for the injured Vaughn Booker. And Juwan Armour is in there as well.
You know, one thing, not only the yardage differential that they have to make up, but John Gruden, he doesn't like calling plays when his team's backed up against the end zone. He doesn't feel comfortable with getting his guy back there and setting up for a pass. He likes a little breathing room to get out about the 18, 20-yard line before he starts opening things up, but I don't know if he has a choice here.
Allstott is out wide to the left. Pittman in the backfield. Brad Johnson throws and completes to Keyshawn Johnson up at the 25-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson caught 7 passes for 85 yards last year against the Bengals.
Well, here's Keyshawn Johnson. He's going to be right up here. See there, he's right in here, and he's going to come up and actually work right behind Takeo Spikes. See him come in here?
Pick up a 15 on the play. 5 defensive backs in for the Bengals. 3 wide receivers for Tampa Bay on 3rd and 5. McCardell in motion. Bengals come with a blitz. Johnson is hit from the outside. Artrell Hawkins, the cornerback, with the sack on Brad Johnson. And the Bucs are forced to punt. Johnson never sensed him or never felt him coming.
Well, he comes from the backside to the top of your picture, to the right side. That's Artrell Hawkins. And nobody picked him up. There was nobody there. No back was in the backfield. No tight end over that side. No guard panning out.
Tom Tupa to punt. Tupa gets it away. And it goes out of bounds. Not a particularly good punt for Tom Tupa. It's out of bounds in Bucs territory at the 45-yard line. Some of the best field positions Cincinnati's had all year long, Sam. Pacific. Bengals, first time they started driving opposition territory this season. Achilles Smith's pass for Peter Warrick was batted away by Brian Kelly. You know, the one thing when you talk about Brian Kelly and Rondé Barber in the corners when they play here for the Tampa Bay Bucs, they get a sense in their mind when that ball's coming out. They play corner differently than you're taught how to play corner in the NFL. They get such great pass rush and such great pressure. They're able to sit back and jump these things and watch the quarterback throw the ball in a hurry. Greg Spires back in at defense. Ben Smith running on what looked to be a broken play. Picks up about 3 on the play, and Derek Brooks made the tackle. Sam, that actually, it does. You know, to a fan, it looks like a broken play, but this is a designed run play. Much like, I want to take a look here. Here's Achilles Smith right here. And what he's going to do is he comes back and sets up. Now he gets some blockers in front of him, and he actually becomes a tailback in this. See, he's got 2 blockers, and he's following the fullback and the tailback, much like Tennessee does with McNair, much like Pittsburgh does in situations with Cordell Stewart. That is a designed run play. 4 wide receivers set. Smith going outside, but his receiver, T.J. Hushmanzada, fell down. Say that again. Hushmanzada. Come on. One more time. Taraj T.J. Hushmanzada. You are my hero. Hushmanzada, he lost his footing there. That's just a little comeback, and that's something that the Bengals offense uses a lot of. I mean, you run him deep. Look, he's got his pony. Tuck that thing up. If you catch the ball, what do you do with that thing tailing you? Can you use that name in Scrabble? A lot of points. You'd have to use a spell check. Nick Harris's punt taken by Carl Williams at the 10. Gets up to the 18-yard line, where he's brought down by Armika Spearman, number 59. 32-yard punt, 8-yard return. Neither team doing much on offense. Scoreless game. Back in Cincinnati, Kerry Jenkins at left guard, Cornell Green at right tackle. Green, second start of the season. Blitz coming. Johnson throws outside. A Keyshawn Johnson made the grab up at the 23-yard line. Bill, you have to tell me something. Yes, sir. How does a guy like Kerry Jenkins fracture a bone in his leg? They said he'd be out 2 to 4 weeks. Next week he's playing. You know, modern medicine is incredible, Sam. You wouldn't believe the things they can do now. Actually, what it is Kerry Jenkins is one tough SOB, is what it comes down to. And he refused to let the injury slow him down. Now, it's a fracture on the outside. Your lower leg has 2 bones in it, tibia and fibula. The fibula is not a weight-bearing bone. And it hurts like the dickens, a big, deep bruise on that crack, but it's not weight-bearing, so he just has to tolerate it. Pittman, the motion man. Brad Johnson throws to Keyshawn Johnson. He's got a first down up the 33-yard line. We've got an update coming your way. Let's go to the studio to JB.
Hey, Sam and Bill, take a look at Buffalo in their 3rd overtime game this season. Bledsoe pumps, fakes, Finally hooks up with Travis Henry. Henry takes it in overtime. Unbelievable what these guys were doing here. And they pulled the victory off. And speaking of overtime, Tommy Maddox, touchdown Tommy Maddox, drives Pittsburgh down. They come away with the field goal to win it. 16-13. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. Pittsburgh Steelers now 1-2. Brad Johnson on first down tried to hit Ricky Dudley down the seam, the tight end. Dudley picked up 2 weeks ago from actually he played for Gruden in Oakland. He was cut by Cleveland.
And one of the reasons they brought him in, this is Ricky Dudley right here, and one of the reasons they brought him in because he knows this offense so well, and he knows what Gruden expects out of the tight end position. Now they got two pretty good tight ends. You know, these guys are in the latter part of their career, getting up there in age a little bit, but they're both battlers, and they both will make plays for this team down as this thing unfolds. He scored a touchdown last week.
First game. Pressure on Brad Johnson. He throws it in the vicinity of Michael Pittman. Bengals want a flag. Oliver Gibson with pressure was all over Brad Johnson. And there's a flag. Jerry Austin.
Gibby was in there. Justin Smith was in there. And I think that was questionable, but I also think that he was outside of the box. And then now this year, it's a tackle-to-tackle box. You see this pressure come to the left. Justin Smith crashes down inside, and then Gibby comes around him, a little E.T. stunt. See Justin Smith blocking sides there.
There was no flag on that last play. Brad Johnson completes to Joe Juravicius, and he's got a first down up the 46-yard line. Just a case of knowing where the first down marker was. And Juravicius, the big target, the third wide receiver, picks up 12 on the play, and it's a first down for the Bucs.
Yeah, Jawan Armour just gave a little too much room there. You know, when you play a zone defense, you want to keep things underneath you and in front of you. But you can't play that far off and give them that much room. Joe Juravicius stood there past the first down marker, uncovered for quite some time.
Two tight ends for the Bucs, two wides. Michael Pittman in the backfield. Eric Abagu in at defensive end for Cincinnati. Pittman. Will get across midfield, pick up about 5 on the play. Justin Smith chased him down and made the tackle. You know,
as much in flux as the offensive line is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the injury and then Cornell Green starting, the one mainstay is this guy right here, Christie. Now, one of the things they do, even though he's covered, they block down and they get Christie outside. Now watch, he gets up on Simmons, and he's actually going to drive Simmons out of the picture, and Pittman cuts off him right off his butt. Now that's great athletic ability for your set to be able to get out on the perimeter and in an area out in space, find the linebacker and seal him off.
Bengals feel Christie and Oben are the two best linemen for the Bucs, and the play is whistled to a stop. A penalty on Tampa Bay.
False start, 27 offense, 5 yards. It's still second down.
It's Aaron Stecker who started to move too soon. The Bucs use a lot of different personnel, don't they, Bill? Is that part to confuse the opposition?
Oh, there's no question about it. A lot of that is John Gruden's package. Now, he'll talk about his package, and everybody talks about their package, and I got this, and formations, and shifts, and Johnson, and this and that, and they got all these things going, but you know, there's nothing really to hang their hat on yet offensively. I think they're still trying to feel everything out, and they're using a lot of smoke and mirrors to try to get something done.
Dilger, the tight end, shifted in the backfield. It's picked off. Raynard Wilson. That's Brian Simmons, the middle linebacker. Simmons with the interception and a touchdown for Cincinnati. The Bengals, who had no turnovers, no takeaways coming into the game, get their second. This one is a 51-yard return for Brian Simmons for the touchdown.
That's some of the confusing stuff, Sam. I know you said at first you thought it was Adrian Ross, but what happens is their linebackers move so far all over the place when they come with the blitzes, nobody knows exactly where their linebackers are going to end up. And that's what happened with Brad Johnson. He had no idea Simmons was going to cut off the slant pass.
Rackers for the extra point. Harris on the hole, and it's good. The Cincinnati Bengals have the lead for the first time this season. Brian Simmons with the interception and the return for the touchdown. Brad Johnson this season had broke a streak. He had thrown 187 passes without an interception.
Look at this.
Short kickoff is brought back by Todd Yoder up to the 35-yard line.
That's the old pooch kick. They're worried about the return. Watch this. This is going to turn out to just be a three-man rush. You're going to have a drop here, and watch Simmons come all the way over here and cut off the slant. That's exactly what Simmons does. Brad Johnson's thinking, well, something's funny. Now Simmons takes off. He's just looking at the quarterback and jumps the slant. He sees this. He's eyeing up the quarterback. He knows the slant's coming. He goes right to where Brad Johnson's eyes took him.
Third career interception for Brian Simmons, his first career touchdown. Bucks from the 34. Pittman follows Christie. And pulled back by Takeo Spikes. Takeo Spikes, outstanding linebacker, leading tackler for the Bengals.
Yeah, and I talk about week 4, Sam, and I think as long as we've been working together, I've always talked about it. It's a time when teams figure out what you have. Now, you've shown everything. You've covered this up and you've covered that up, but there's only so many things you can do. And week 4 is when teams start figuring it out. And that's why you see the upsets you see today. And another thing is, too, of course, it's this short week for Tampa, and there's nothing to get excited about coming to Cincinnati.
Blitz coming, the toss to Pittman. He's got a big hole. Pittman with a great run gets upended by Jawan Armour. Sent him flying into Bengals territory at the 49-yard line. 13-yard run from Michael Pittman.
Yeah, well, check out this seal block by the right side here. This is going to get blocked down in here, and this is going to be your seam right outside. This is a nice job. There's the block right down on Bernard Wington. Now here's the lead, and look at that alley. That's pretty stuff. You cannot give up contain when you're on the outside by a down block by a tight end.
Alstott and Pittman in the backfield. It's Pittman straight ahead.
Here we go.
A couple, maybe three on the play down to the 46-yard line. Takeo Spikes in on the tackle again. Spikes and Simmons, outstanding linebackers. Bengals lost Steve Foley late in preseason. He's IR'd for the remainder of the year, and Adrian Ross has won the other linebacking job. But that twosome of Simmons and Spikes are really two of the best.
You know, actually, Sam, their defense is pretty good. And the thing about it is they've just been on the field way too much. The offense through the first 3 games have given the ball over in their own territory 5 times.
Brad Johnson to Keyshawn Johnson. Lunges forward to the 35-yard line. 4th catch of the game for Keyshawn. Artrell Hawkins made the tackle. Keyshawn, left hand may be bothering him here as he goes to the sideline. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. First time this season the Cincinnati Bengals have led in a game. First points they put up Cincinnati 35. Pump fake by Brad Johnson. Wide open Ricky Dudley. And he is in for the touchdown. Jeff Burris trying to catch up. Ricky Dudley, 2 games as a Buccaneer, 2 touchdowns. 35-yard pass from Brad Johnson to Ricky Dudley.
Well, it was a heck of a job by the offensive line up front buying time. But even better was the sell of Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson looks this way, pump fakes that way. That takes the safety, Jawan Armour, over the top, and nobody is left in the middle of the field.
Martin Gramatica for the extra point. Tom Tupa is the holder. And the game is tied. So the Bucks hit. Ricky Dudley sat out the first 2 weeks of the season. He had been cut by Cleveland. He got a call from his former coach, John Gruden. Come to Tampa Bay. And he scored 2 touchdowns.
Jawan Armour sure has a lot to learn about playing safety in this league. Take a look at Brad Johnson. What's going to happen here is here's the fake, and he's going to take off over this way, and there's the middle of the field. He bit on that hard.
On the kickoff, coming down to Brandon Bennett. Bennett, who returned 5 kickoffs last week, averaging over 27 yards per return, goes up to the 22-yard line. Let's find out what the Giants are doing in Arizona. Let's go to JB.
Hey, Sam, the Giants have 4 straight wins over Arizona. Tiki Barber trying to make it 5. Look at this excellent second and third effort by Tiki Barber. Hard 6-yard run, and it's the Giants up in the second quarter, 7-0 over the Cardinals. Back to Sam and Bill.
And you know that Rondé's going to be happy about that.
Well, Ronnie was talking about his brother Tiki. He said his little toes been bothering the heck out of him. But he says, who they got this week? He said Arizona. He goes, he'll take care of them.
Corey Dillon looking for the opening, spins across the 25, up close to the 27. Levi Jones, the first-round draft pick for the Cincinnati Bengals, 10th overall, is in at left tackle, replacing Richmond Webb. They're trying to get him into the rotation and get him some playing time.
Yeah, as well they should. You know, your first-round draft pick, and your running game's not going, and Corey Dillon's not the same as he has been. And you got to try what you got. And he's your first-round pick. You obviously thought highly of him.
Warwick, he's the man in motion. Corey Dillon up across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and short. Dexter Jackson made the stop. Bengals had better field position, but have not taken advantage of it. They've had 2 takeaways. The defense scored a touchdown. The offense has only run 10 plays thus far in the game. Nicholas Lucci is out as a wingback to the right side. There's O'Neal and Corey Dillon in the backfield. The play fake. Smith dropped. He went to the tight end, Matt Schobel. And it wasn't good touch on that pass. It went off the left hand. There is a flag on the play.
Offside, number 92 of the defense, lined up in the neutral zone. Result of the penalty is a first down.
That's on Booger McFarland, and it gives Cincinnati a first down. Cincinnati on offense struggled all year, Bill.
Well, the thing about it is Corey Dillon hasn't been going because they played from behind. There's been interceptions in the red zone. Tight ends have 1 catch. They just can't seem to get things going. And every time they go to do something, they're backed up and they end up throwing an interception. And the defense has to come out in the field and get a full ranking because of it.
Akili Smith in trouble, and he is hauled down by Warren Sapp. Sapp's 3rd sack of the season. And now the Bengals the Bucs officially have at least 1 sack in 48 consecutive games, the longest active streak in the NFL. Sapp's off to a good start this season.
Yeah, and their defense is, Sam. And one of the things is because their offense is controlling the ball a little longer, although they have not been able to score as much as they'd like to. The time of possession is up. They move the ball down the field. And they settle for field goals or they don't convert or whatever, but they are chewing up the clock, giving these guys a breather.
Dillon stopped by Warren Sapp. Good tackle by Warren Sapp. Just as Dillon saw the hold.
I want you to take a look at Warren Sapp, and I want you to, now over here is Booger McFarland. Now look at the distance between these two. That's a lot of distance, right? Now you think so, but watch Sapp. He goes upfield, and then watch, he comes all the way back underneath to make this tackle. Now that's big time play out of the defensive tackle. Most of the time when you see that much split in between your defensive tackles as you got right here, you think you can take advantage of it. Not with those two.
Bengals have to get to the 47 for a first down. Screen pass to Brandon Bennett. And Bennett is brought down at the 38-yard line. Rondé Barber made the tackle. And the Bengals are forced to punt. They got a first down on that possession, but that was because of the penalty. So the offense is still not in sync for Cincinnati.
They're not running enough, Sam. You know, for me, you know, they're still 7-7 game here. I mean, heck, run the football and run downhill.
McCarris took the high snap, the punt to Carl Williams from the 23. Spins away from 1. Now he's buried. Good coverage on the play. Canute Curtis, number 98, with the tackle on Carl Williams.
New York Jets fans, you want to know what's wrong with your team? They don't have that man right there. That's Bill Muir, the offensive line coach. That's part of the problems up in New York, but it's not one of the problems for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Bucs go from the 22. Pittman is tackled for a loss. Beautiful tackle by Artrell Hawkins, the cornerback. Got right to Pittman, tackled him low, brought him down.
Bill Muir, he's come down here, and he's actually hired before Gruden was hired, and that's kind of tough, you know. Not handpicked by Gruden. Came down. They thought it was going to be a Parcells hire, and they hired him down there. But one of the things he said, he doesn't have any big nasties. He doesn't have any of the guys, you know, just the grunt guys. Get in there and run blockers. Right now, he's got athletic guys with all this pass blocking they have for all the throwing in the system.
Bucks with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left, and go straight ahead with Pittman, but he's brought down. Good tackle by Renard Wilson, who's in at defensive end, number 55. Wilson, who had 9 sacks last year, known for his pass rushing ability, but a good tackle there. Pickup of 2 on the play, brings up 3rd and 8 for the Bucks. Bucks have 152 yards in offense. The Bengals only 33. But the game's still at 7-7.
They've been out there probably half the plays offensively.
Dilger was in motion. Johnson rolling. Back the other way to Pittman. And he fights his way up to the 29, but he's short of a first down. Casebahorn hit him first. Kevin Casebahorn, the cornerback, and then he was finished off by Brian Simmons. Good defensive work by the Bengals.
And you know, I know this is part of the system, but when you have a dominant run game or you have a dominant receiver, you use those things. And as you can see, Tampa Bay offensively, they try a lot of everything.
Cooper's punt bounces down. Peter Warwick let it roll by him, and it rolls to a stop at the 20-yard line. 51-yard punt for Tom Tupa. Bengals defense putting pressure on Brad Johnson. Tony Williams did, though.
It looks like he did it himself, and he just looked at the mirror and said, yeah, that looks pretty good.
McKinley Smith 2 for 5 for 20 yards thus far in the game. Corey Dillon carrying on first down, and he is shoved back.
Okay.
Picked up about a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Last year, Tampa Bay played in St. Louis and won on Monday night. Came into Cincinnati and had to go to overtime to beat the Bengals 16-13.
Perception's everything, Sam.
How do you mean?
I mean, you go play on Monday night, you play a prolific offense like the Rams, you're getting excited all week long.
On second down, Smith fires and it's incomplete. Trying to hit Chad Johnson. Brian Kelly was in on the play to bat it away.
Sam, the corners, I talked about it earlier, the corners for the Buccaneers have a luxury of that pass rush is coming so hard, they get to turn and look back at the quarterback because they know they're not giving anything up because the quarterback is under such duress that they're afforded the luxury to say, I can cheat, I can look back, and I'm going to look at where the quarterback's looking, and I can get a jump as he winds up to throw the ball.
Out of empty backfield, rush coming, and McKinley Smith is brought down. Simeon Rice got a piece of him, and Smith goes down at the 25-yard line.
Sam, you know, I see Achilles Smith. I understand the move. What I don't understand, however, is they're running the same offense that they ran with John Kitna and Gus Frerotte. I would not have Achilles Smith set up and stay in the pocket where Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Booger McFarland are going to come after me. I would move my pocket and I would use some of his athletic ability.
Nick Harris's punt taken by Carl Williams with a fair catch at the 30-yard line. 46-yard punt. No return. Bengals just sports calendar for October. It is filled up. You've got baseball playoffs beginning October 1st for the rest of the month right through the World Series. And of course on Sunday, those yellow circles, it's NFL action right here on Fox. The place to be. Bucks with Brad Johnson checking off. He splits the backs, Pittman and Allstott. Blitz coming. Swing it out to Pittman. Justin Smith wrestles him out of bounds. That was a good chase down by Justin Smith.
Yeah, and I like the way Justin Smith plays defensive end. He's a lot out of the mold of a Grant Wistrom. This time you're going to find him lined up over here. And then if they check to, he's got the back out. See that? When you get to this defense, because they're going to come with the blitz in here. So when you have all those people coming, somebody's got to pick up the hot back out in the flat, and it becomes a defensive end. And you saw that Justin Smith had the speed to run down Michael Pittman. That's pretty doggone good.
All-stop shift. Brad Johnson being rushed and hit as he throws. He's got a man. It's Keenan McCardell down the sideline. And he goes to the end zone. Touchdown. 65-yard pass from Brad Johnson to Keenan McCardell. And what a pass by Johnson as he was smacked as he threw.
Keenan McCardell got behind Jeff Burris. Jeff Burris tried to do a little bit of what Tampa does and look back at the quarterback. You know, they said he knew that blitz was coming. He knew they were going after Brad Johnson, and he tried to look back. And Brad Johnson waited for McCardell to clear, and by doing so, took a shot right in the mouth, Sam. I mean, Justin Smith just knocked him right in the chin, knocked him head over teacup, boy.
He's tough, though. Brad Johnson has really shown his toughness.
He always has.
Gramatica's extra point is through. Longest play of the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. 65-yard touchdown pass. McCardell's second TD of the season.
Artrell Hawkins, watch him looking inside. See him come up and jump on that. He jumps on that, and he lets Keenan McCardell get behind him. And at the same time, Brad just sits in there in the pocket. Watch him sitting there. Justin Smith, here comes the blitz. Here comes the pressure in the games. Boom. Right up under his arm, right up under his chin. And that ball was right on the money.
Johnson hangs in that pocket, doesn't he? He stands up there.
Well, did you see all the traffic that Keyshawn Johnson drew? I mean, Keyshawn Johnson drew a ton of people around him, and then right behind him was Keenan McCardell. Artrell Hawkins just jumped up right on Keenan McCardell, right on Keyshawn Johnson when he was already covered. There was no reason to leave McCardell. Keyshawn Johnson was already covered up.
So the Bucs now have the lead for the first time of the game. Keenan McCardell, second touchdown reception. Gramatica's kick coming down to Brandon Bennett at the 2. Bennett would return up to about the 27-yard line. Todd Yoder in on the stop. Pulled down to Keely Smith, rolling and throwing incomplete. Threw it wide of Chad Johnson. Brian Kelly was covering on the play.
Over on the sidelines, there's Duffner, the defense coordinator. He's drawing up here. Here's Hawkins right here, and this is the diagram of what exactly happened on that play.
Second and 10 for the Bengals. Akili Smith 2 for 7, 20 yards. And that pass knocked down by Simeon Rice, who had an interception last week. And that ball was thrown right at him. And he almost had another one.
There is only one player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that has more passes defended than Simeon Rice, and that's Rondé Barber. Rondé Barber has 9 batted down balls. Simeon Rice, a defensive end, has 7, and that's incredible. That's really remarkable for a defensive lineman to have that many batted down balls.
And you can see how much more comfortable he is this year in the defensive system. His second year with the Bucs. At the shotgun, the pass too high, intended for Ron Duggins. 3 and out for the Bengals, and you hear the fan reaction.
You know, when I say those batted down balls by defensive linemen, I'm talking for a season. 7 batted down balls is a lot for the course of the season. Simeon Rice has that in almost 4 games.
Buck defense is really playing well right now. Nick Harris's punt, Carl Williams for the 28. He's got room to return. And he is brought down at the 45-yard line. Ron Duggins with the special teams tackle. Good return by Carl Williams of 17 yards after a 45-yard punt. Achilles Smith just 2 for 9, 20 yards.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just a shame. And you want a young guy like that. He got damaged early, I think. You know, it was too much for him and a lot of pressure. And I think he only had 2 wins out of his first year. He started with a 2-9. And things just fell apart. He hasn't been able to pick himself back up yet.
He had the bad hamstring injury. Missed most of the mini camps this year. He was okay at training camp. On first down, Pittman straight ahead. Short pickup on the play.
And for Cincinnati, I mean, heck, since Boomer left here, you know, it's almost just been like a ICU ward for quarterbacks. It's your last stop before you're dead.
Since they replaced Jeff Blake in '97, this is the 9th quarterback change for the Bengals.
And it's been horrible. It really has. They haven't been able to get a guy in there to make something out of that position. How do you have one of the best runners in the NFL in Corey Dillon for the last 5 years, I'm sorry, and not be able to play off of that?
Johnson off the play fake, wide open outside is Dilger. Ken Dilger gets a first down, the tight end. And once again, Brad Johnson moving it around. The one thing, if Tampa Bay has a problem on offense, is getting the balls to everybody, spreading it around.
Well, you got, everybody wants a piece of it, you know? And you got Keaton McCardle, he wants his, and Keyshawn Johnson, he wants his. Then you're seeing a lot of the 2 tight end set coming out by Tampa Bay, and what that 2 tight end set does, it really neutralizes a blitz. When you're going to come against a blitzing team and you go 2 tight ends, they usually check out of it.
On first down, blitz coming, and that pass almost picked off by Artrell Hawkins. It was thrown behind Keyshawn Johnson. If Hawkins makes this interception, he goes for a touchdown.
Well, the reason he can't make the interception, watch what Keyshawn Johnson does. Keyshawn Johnson grabs his other arm. See, Keyshawn Johnson was holding. The only reason Artrell Hawkins was able to get his right hand down because Keyshawn Johnson was pulling back with his left. We can't see it, but that's what happened.
2nd and 10 for the Bucs. Pittman. Run in motion, play fake. The pump fake by Johnson goes back to Pittman, who's wide open. Inside the 30, down to the 26, a first down for Tampa Bay. A little razzle-dazzle by the Bucs.
Well, the one thing, Sam, if you blitz in defense, and I don't care if it's zone blitz, I don't care if it's zero safety help blitz, if it's all-out blitz, no matter what it is, if you blitz, you have got to get there. Because it's a gamble. You're gambling on that play. You're saying, I'm going to bring more pressure and be disruptive than you're going to have poised to sit in the pocket and make the throw. It's not happening on the blitzes for the Bengals. It's getting picked up by Tampa Bay.
4 catches for Michael Pittman. He leads the Bucs with 17 receptions. Keyshawn Johnson in motion. The tosses to Pittman, cutting back, but a good play inside. Nice defensive play by Glenn Steele, number 70. 50-year man out of Michigan. Ball at the 26-yard line. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
And for this offense, for the Buccaneers offense, for this West Coast offense, for this John Gruden offense, for whatever you want to call it, 2nd and 10 isn't a good down for them because you don't have much. You've got to draw a screen or you try to throw again. If you don't get there,
they got there.
That's a flag. That's a flag. That's a flag.
Tony Williams, he was down, I think, before he threw the ball. Tony Williams with the sack.
He's very lucky that they don't tack on 10 from that spot, Sam.
Oh, he is down by a sack.
He was down on the play. Tony Williams with the sack. Loss of 11 on the play.
They just run a little twist stud inside here. Tony Williams just beats Cozy Coleman just clean. Right off a swat and swim. Catches that outside shoulder, bangs on it hard, and swims over the top of him.
Minnesota Vikings, Tony Williams. The Bucs have called timeout. 3:41 to go in the first half. Bucs have a 14-7 lead. Bucs have to get to the 16 for a first down. Short drop by Johnson. Nobody open. Dumps it low. Intended for Joe Jurevicius. He was surrounded by Bengals. And the punting unit will come on for Tampa Bay.
And that sack, or whatever the heck it was, really cost him. Rosie Coleman gave that up, and here comes the pressure right away. Well, I guess he must have been down before he had intentional ground.
Well, that's what the official felt. He was sacked. Tom Tupa with the punt. And Dwight Smith is down to catch it at the 3-yard line. Good play. Good punt by Tupa, and a good play by Dwight Smith to get down the field. It's a 34-yard punt. And it sets the Bengals down to their own 3-yard line. The only thing that's gone well for the Bengals today is a couple of takeaways. A fumble by Michael Pittman. Artrell Hawkins picked it up. The interception by Brian Simmons, leading to the Bengals' only score. Head coach Dick LeBeau trying to find a way to get his team going. On the play, 7 carries in the game for Dillon, 12 or 13 yards total, up to the 16-yard line. Time of possession has been lopsided for Tampa Bay. Dillon and Neal in the backfield. Schobel, the tight end, in motion. And a good stop inside, just a short pickup. Not much running room for Corey Dillon.
Not much of anything for them actually today, Sam, on offense. A little bit here and there, but, you know, they're running the same thing. I think they're just changing the quarterbacks. I play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I run straight downhill at them. Lorenzo Neal is one of the best, most powerful fullbacks in the NFL when it comes to blowing people up in the line of scrimmage. Levi Jones, your first-round draft choice, has played tight end for you. You go big personnel. You go 2 tight ends, one with Levi Jones. You got eye back. You run downhill at him with Lorenzo Neal and Corey Dillon, then play action off.
On 3rd down, Smith gets rid of it under pressure, and he threw it wide. Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp providing pressure, and it's 3 and out again for the Bengals. Corey Dillon saying something to Achilles Smith before as they head off. I think part of it, in talking to Bob Radkowski, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, he was saying they didn't want to change too much for the rest of the guys on the offense. Williams on the return into Bengals territory.
That's a block in the back.
And the ball, he steps out of bounds at the 42, but there's a flag on the play. And looks like Ryan Neese may get called. 45-yard punt with a 12-yard return. Jerry Austin checks out the flag.
Illegal block from behind during the return. Number 56 of the receiving team, 10 yards, first down. Minute warning, 2 minutes.
It was Ryan Neese, the man called, Bill.
Man, he's going to come right in. There it is right there. And, you know, when you're running around out there full speed and you're flying around and you're supposed to block your man, first-round draft choices. Yeah, he does. But there's been a lot of other teams that had a lot of first-round draft choices. What he gets out of them and the things that he preaches and techniques over and over and over again every single day really makes this unit what it is.
Bengals start, the Bucs start from the 38. Short tosses to Mike Allstott. He's brought down up the 44-yard line. Raynard Wilson made the stop on Mike Allstott. 7 different receivers have caught passes from Brad Johnson today. 8 last Monday night against St. Louis, and 12 different receivers all season long, as the Bucs like to spread it around. Johnson being rushed. Safety blitz coming from Corey Hall. And Johnson got rid of it a little early.
You know, Sam, you talked about all the Buccaneers catching the ball and all the season long, all the different people. As you watch the blitz, here comes 26. He's going to come from right outside here. Nobody gets picked up. The offensive line goes down. The back stays in and picks up Takeo Spikes on the outside, and that thing opens up. Corey Hall springs free.
3rd and 4. John Johnson motions. Johnson short drop, fires a beauty to Keenan McCardell. The ball popped loose, and it's ruled incomplete. Jeff Burris wrapped up Keenan McCardell.
I'll get back to my thought there about passing the ball around everybody in a second, Sam, but you can see that when he went down to the ground, that ball came down and hit the ground, that it popped out.
Burris on the coverage, Tupa on the punt. On the return, Peter Warrick. Not much coverage on the play by the Bucs. Jack Golden just re-signed by Tampa Bay this week in on special teams, along with Corey Ivy. Don't forget, the Visa halftime reports coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy in the studio have scores and highlights from around the league. The Fox Sports ticker keeps you updated with up-to-the-second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Last 3 possessions for the Bengals have been 3 and out. And they've had 4 3 and outs in 6 possessions in the game. Go with 3 wide receivers out of the shotgun. Smith under pressure. Gave it away to Shelton Quarles, and he's headed for the end zone. Touchdown! He threw it right to the middle linebacker, Shelton Quarles, and a huge turnover. And once again, the Bucs defense puts points on the board.
And it's all because of what goes on up front, Sam. That pressure was coming. Achilles Smith had to step up, and as he was watching, watch 53. Watch him. He's going to be right here. He's actually going to just mirror number 11. Whatever 11 does. Watch him. Just walks across the middle and mirrors him. And where his eyes goes, that's where he goes. Watch. Bang. He just follows. 11 takes him right to where he's going to throw the ball.
Extra point by Grammatica is good. 7 interceptions this season for Tampa Bay. 3 have been returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, this is what he's going to be here. It's called a plugger. And this defense allows the plugger to actually just float around here in the middle and follow the quarterback. You know why they're able to have a plugger? They have a plugger, a guy in the middle that can roam free like that, because they can get there with 4 down linemen. Sometimes they use the safety, sometimes it's the middle linebacker, but they just sit there in the middle, and if somebody comes on a crossing pattern, they bone them. Otherwise, they just drift and wait for it. If it's run, I go to the run. If it's a pass, I just follow the quarterback's eyes. That time, number 11, Achilles Smith, took the plugger, Quarles, right to where he was throwing the ball.
Second career touchdown for Shelton Quarles, a guy who's had a tough route to the NFL. He started with Miami. They cut him. Things didn't go well. Went up to Canada for a couple of years in the Canadian Football League. Came back as a special teamer with Tampa Bay, and now he's become a pretty good middle linebacker.
Some of the things he's learned about playing in the NFL all came from playing specialty. You know, just the speed in which you had to operate, the craziness, the hectic life that comes with a special teamer, that really transferred over to linebacker.
Well, the Bucs defense has done it again. Grammatica, the kickoff is short, coming down to Bradley Bennett at the 20, and he is taken down. Good coverage by Rondé Barber on special teams.
What doesn't he do?
So the Pro Bowler plays kickoff coverage. Final seconds of the first half. Well, you can wake up to Fox and Friends on the Fox News Channel. Wake up to a world of difference. Is the Senate close to a resolution when it comes to dealing with Iraq? Or will open issues force more debate and disagreement? Watch Fox and Friends on the Fox News Channel. Check your local listings. 48 seconds to go, first half. Achilles Smith works out of the shotgun. Corey Dillon, as he got the ball, he was tackled by Derek Brooks. And this Bengals offense has been out of sync since the start of the season, and they haven't been able to get anything going. And Dick LeBeau is just got to be beside himself trying to figure out what's going on. Smith rolling and being chased and wanted to stay in bounds, then throws it away as he was going out of bounds, chased by Short Trick Darby and Greg Spires. Short Trick Darby, another young defensive lineman in the rotation.
Rod Marinelli, he finds those guys. Ellis Wims, you know, Greg Spires. Where were these guys? What were they doing? And they become viable parts of the defense as the rotation comes through with defensive line. Rod Marinelli, you know what he stresses? He stresses simplifying things and getting upfield into your gap. Now you say, well, that sounds very simple, but there's a discipline that comes with that in maintaining that gap control.
On third down, the screen pass to Brandon Bennett. Picked up a couple of blocks, gets across the 30-yard line. He's short of a first down.
How about Tampa Bay called timeout here? Tampa called timeout.
9 seconds remaining in the first half.
You know what? They want a chance here for a punt return.
Well, you know what? And part of this is also John Gruden trying to keep his guys up and into this game, not letting down at all. It started slowly for the Bucs. They fell behind 7-0. But the second quarter, led by the strong defensive play, and then the offense came alive as well.
Junior quarterback, Tampa, Florida. John Gruden. John Gruden.
Does he look like a quarterback to you? University of Dayton?
John Gruden.
That's the only play we could find.
They got a full-on block. They got nobody
just missed it. Everybody up for a block, and they just missed. Flag on the play.
Yeah, they got roughing here.
Nick Harris just got it away. So the Bucs went for the all-out block as we reached.
Well,
Jerry Austin.
I think this was a defensive play.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Number 80 of the defense. Penalty is declined. That's the end of the half.
They could have gotten 15 yards and one more play if they wanted it. And another thing, I was surprised they came with the all-out block on, because from where they were, if they caught it fair catch, if it was a bad punt, if they fair caught the ball, let's say the 50, you could have had a play. You could have run somebody out and tried to kick a field goal with Grammatica.
Warren Sapp and the Bucs defense have done their job well. They've totally shut down the Bengals offense. Bengals' only score came on an interception return by Brian Simmons. But the Bucs, looking for their third win in a row, go to the locker room at halftime, leading the Bengals 21-7. Seemed to get their offense rolling. First it started with a good defense, and the offense got going after that.
You know, Sam, you think, too, after a Monday night and a short week and then coming up here and taking on the Bengals, you think, well, what the heck's going to happen? How are they going to have that adrenaline, that emotion? But the Tampa Bay Bucs defense has been doing it since Warren Sapp's been there. And no matter how many offensive geniuses and coordinators and gurus come in there, it still comes down to one thing, and that's that Bucs front four. Rod Marinelli has these guys just coming after the ball, and Achilles Smith hasn't had time to set up. He hasn't had time to plant his foot on the third step. He's having to bail out of there, and that pressure turns into turnovers. And when that happens, it's just open up the floodgates. And you know, and you talk about Tampa Bay and the things they do. Yeah, they spread the ball around. They most certainly do. But the one thing they're not doing offensively is they're not getting the touchdowns. All those plays and all those receivers and all the balls, everybody, they're not getting the touchdowns from those guys. It's still the defense.
Brandon Bennett on the return up to the 24-yard line for the Bengals. Our Dan Horde caught up with Dick LeBeau moments ago.
Coach, will you stick with Achille at quarterback in the second half?
Yeah, we got the ball here and start this half, and we got to move the ball, and most of what they got, we gave them. Been a lot of turnovers, been kind of a crazy game. We got to settle down and get something going on offense, keep the pressure on them on defense, and don't give them those plays.
Best of luck in the second half. Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Achilles Smith just 3 for 13 in the first half for 27 yards. Corey Dillon has carried 9 times for 13. Bengals start from their 24. And it's Corey Dillon. And And the Bucs are there to stuff him short of the line of scrimmage. Simeon Rice and Shelton Quarles leading the way. First half stats. Look at the time of possession. 18.5 minutes to 11.5. Couple of turnovers for Tampa Bay is their negative stat. 251 yards to 48.
Well, obviously dominating. And except for the one busted coverage by Artrell Hawkins, Tampa Bay has had the ball, but they have not been able to score.
Smith on second down under pressure. Got it to the tight end, Matt Schobel.
We're done.
And he's brought down across the 25-yard line. There's an area where the Bengals are hurting a little bit, Bill. They're real thin at the tight end position.
You know, and that could have a lot to do with it, too. Since Tony McGee left, they really haven't had anybody there to do anything. I mean, blocking the perimeter, too. Blocking the perimeter, stretching the field down the seam. And, of course, Sean Brewer's hurt. He was their third-round pick last year. They miss him as well. They're a little weak there at the tight end position. They could use some bodies there.
Have to get to the 34 for first down.
Show blitz.
Out of the shotgun. Smith gets time, throws deep, and overthrows Chad Johnson. And behind him was Dwight Smith for the Buccaneers. So once again, it's 3 and out. The 5th 3 and out for Cincinnati in the game.
You know, Sam, the thing about that, you saw that show blitz right before that, and all those guys coming up. That's the confusion. Now everybody's sitting there, the backs are saying, oh no, here they come. The linemen, oh no, here they come. Then they don't come.
Good high punt by Nick Harris. Carl Williams back at his own 27. There's a flag down on the play. Williams with a good return down the sideline. And he's forced out of bounds. Outstanding return, but we'll check out the flag. Riel Johnson finally pushed Carl Williams out of bounds. He's already had one return for a touchdown this season. 37-yard return. See what Jerry Austin comes up with here after the discussion. A lengthy discussion. By the side judge filling in the referee. And it's against the Bengals.
Men on the kicking team on the field during the punt. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Discussion going on near the Bengals sideline about the call of 12 men on the field.
I don't think they had 12 out there. I think they only had 11 guys out there. Well, let's take a look up close here. Well, let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
The punter is 10.
Well, let's go back and take a look at it. Yeah, there's 10 and here's 11. That's 11.
Head linesman.
You know what happened?
That's Al Roberts, the special teams coach for Cincinnati, in on it.
I think what they got confused by is normally you have like your personal protector back there. Well, they just changed up the front look a little bit. They only had 4 guys up front. And they had 3 personal protectors.
The bad news is that the poor coverage by the Bengals on special teams allowed Williams with the big punt return of 37 yards. Michael Pittman, big hole on first down.
What a head of steam. What a head of steam. You see, when he's coming downhill and there's no stopping when you get to the line of scrimmage, you have to create speed bumps in the line of scrimmage. You don't want any back to come downhill with that kind of speed. I mean, here's a seal that's going to be over here. Christie's going to pull outside again, but there's no close right across here. See, there's a seal right there on Tony Williams, and if there's no bodies in the way, that's a direct shot downhill at full speed. That's tough to handle.
Keyshawn Johnson in motion, the toss to Pittman, and he's pulled down for a loss. Outstanding play by Canute Curtis, the linebacker. So back they go to the 38. Good defensive play there.
Yeah, Canute Curtis, 98. He jumps outside. Now, Keyshawn Johnson comes down inside there to block the perimeter, but there's a lot of flow out of the Bengals defense, and Keyshawn didn't get his helmet on anybody. Canute was free.
Have to get to the 27 for first down. Blitz coming. Johnson gets time. Throws. will grab, and he's got a first down at the 22. Keenan McCardell with his first 100-yard game of the season. A nice catch.
You've got to get there. This is a zone blitz, and what's going to happen? They're going to come with the linebacker. They're going to drop the defensive end, and they're going to have a lot of time. When you have that much time, that plays into the favor of an offense. If you come with blitz or you come with pressure, if an offense has that much time, a receiver will get open and a quarterback will find him.
Pickup of 16 and a first down. See the numbers on Keenan McCardell, his 21st career 100-yard game. Pittman straight ahead, no gain. Brad Johnson, in the game against the Rams Monday night, completed nearly 72% of his passes. Today, he's completing at 69%.
You know, sometimes you can take a look at Brad Johnson and know. You see, well, you can't see here, but he's really low under center. We have the eye backs behind him, but watch how low he gets. See how low he is right here? Now, to me, that tips off run. He's down low because the offensive line in the center's down low. When it's a pass, I want you to watch. He looks a little higher to me. He's pretty low there.
Rolling time, he's hit as he throws. It's caught by Dilger, and he fights his way to the end zone. Touchdown! Once again, Brad Johnson completing a pass as he was hit, and what a play by the tight end Dilger to bust a couple of tackles and make it to the end zone. A 22-yard touchdown. Dick LeBeau, you saw the frustration on his face. Bad tackling by the Bengals on that one.
Bad tackling, play action. They faked the run. The line block run first, and then he popped out of it after the fake handoff and came over top, and there was the tight end uncovered.
Third touchdown pass of the game for Brad Johnson, having a big day. Grammaticus extra point is good. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
is prohibited.
Ken Dilger with the good effort to score the 22-yard touchdown, and Brad Johnson has now thrown 3 touchdown passes. Kickoff to Brandon Bennett at the 4. Straight ahead to the 25-yard line. Take another look at this touchdown, Bill.
Well, yeah, this was something special. You're going to show on the left-hand side, the 94, Tony Williams gets the pressure, and then there's Dilger in the right box, and he comes underneath there. And what the whole thing was a zone blitz defensively that didn't get there. Again, here's going to be the pressure. It's going to come here. Now, over here is Justin Smith going out and Takeo Spikes going out. Both guys take the back. Somebody has to have the weak hook. Neither Takeo Spikes nor Justin Smith took the weak hook, and that's where Dilger ended up.
But to me, 3 missed tackles.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible after the catch. No question about it.
Play fake by Achilles Smith. Going long, airs it out for Chad Johnson, overthrown. Rondé Barber covering on the play. Johnson's got big speed.
They get a little cheer going here, just the fact that they aired one out. You know, just the fact that they threw one deep, and the fans of Cincinnati are excited a little bit. Talking to Rondé Barber yesterday and talking about playing in this defense and getting the interceptions that Brian Kelly's gotten, and how great it is to play with that front defensive 4. He said, hey, ask Donnie Abraham how great it is.
Yeah.
You know, he's at the Jets right now. How many interceptions has he had in his career down in Tampa Bay?
Blitz coming. Corey Dillon trying to find some room. And the Bucs are everywhere. There's a late flag on the play. Even when they blitz, they plug the running lanes, and Dillon had nowhere to go.
Well, you know, the problem is when the attack is on. And when you have this kind of lead.
71 offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Willie Anderson, the right tackle, called for the hold.
Yeah, and the defense of the Bucs says, yeah, you know what? It's 3rd and 10. That's good enough for us. Let's not make it 7-15. 3rd and 10 is good enough for us. We're fine. Yeah, we can get off the field. No sense in making us play an extra down. We need to rest a little bit.
4 wide receivers for Cincinnati. 3 to the right side. Now Peter Warrick motions. Achilles Smith completes it to Hushmanzada. Up to the 34-yard line, but he's short of a first down. First catch of the game for T.J. Hushmanzada. want the Bengals to go for it. And you can hear the reaction as the punting unit comes on the field. And once again, another 3 and out for Cincinnati, their 6th of the game.
You know, I was talking to Tim Crumry, the defensive line coach for the Bengals, and longtime great player, nose tackle for Cincinnati. He said, you know, I'm worried about my guys. He says, they don't even have time to get a cup of water or oxygen or sit down. He says, it's 3 plays, and I got to send them right back out there.
Fair catch by Carl Williams on the good high.
And when you get a lead, a comfortable lead, and you have the indecision and inexperience at quarterback play for the Bengals, it's not a situation you want to be in if you're a Bengal or a Bengal fan.
Of course, 9 punts in the game. Allstott on first down gets a couple of yards straight ahead. The Bucs play in the NFC South, the new division, and their rivals in that division, Carolina and New Orleans, both lost earlier today. So Bucs win would tie them for first place in the division. Atlanta has a bye week. They're 1-2.
Well, you can certainly see the difference in the Bucs offense in what John Gruden's running. You know, typically you'd see a lot more Allstott, a lot more Pittman, and what you're seeing is 2 tight end formations, as you have right here. You're seeing both tight ends catch a touchdown and a wide receiver catch a touchdown.
Now you've got Allstott as a tailback with Darian Barnes, the fullback. Allstott follows Barnes, but he's wrapped up.
Okay, we're done.
At the 23, Brian Simmons, the middle linebacker, leading the way with help from Jeff Burris.
You know, that double tight end set does a lot of things. As I had mentioned earlier, I had said, you know, it takes away, it neglects the blitz. It makes you take you out of the blitz because you don't know whether they're both going to stay in and max protect, and it makes you limited. Or if you don't know which one's going to go out. So those defenses, blitzing defenses, they check out of it. They say, nah, you know, we'll play Omaha, and they call off. It also enables you to have a lot of pass routes out of it if you send them both out.
On third down, pressure on Brad Johnson. Got it to Pittman, but he's wrapped up by Takeo Spikes. Way short of a first down. Good defensive series for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Much in the fashion as you remember Keith Jackson and Mark Chmura up in
Green Bay.
Exactly. And it positions the safeties. It keeps them occupied in the middle of the field. And after that, it opens up things on the outside where your wide receivers are. And I think they got 2 pretty good ones here in Dudley and Dilger. They're going to get a lot of plays out of these guys.
Dudley was a good pickup with Battaglia cut. For Bengals. Tom Tupa's 5th punt of the game. Peter Warren from the 29. Good return across the 40-yard line. Bengals will start with good field position. 48-yard punt, 11-yard return, and a flag that we'll check out here. Up around midfield.
Maybe they tried 12 on the return. Yeah, maybe they snuck a guy out there.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 26 of the kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
That's Dwight Smith. Let's see what he did here.
Throws a little fist in here, I think. Didn't like being blocked.
Oh, well, tough to throw a fist toward a...
And by Toyota, get the feeling.
Corey Dillon is closing in on becoming the Bengals' all-time leading rusher, but it's been tough go today. That's one of his better pickups. That's his 12th carry. And prior to that, he'd only picked up 11 yards. That was a pickup of 6 for Corey Dillon.
Yeah, and you see the yards he got here, and look where they attacked, and look who's at the fullback, Lorenzo Neal, and they're going this way.
You like that, right?
I don't understand why you don't do that from the get-go of this game. You try to run the perimeters, they don't have anything outside.
Time the fullback carried, and Booger McFarland made the stop.
Yeah, but it's a 3-yard gain. A 3-yard gain, you win. When they've tried to run the ball outside, look at the numbers they've got outside. They've tried 3 times to the right, they've gotten 1 yard. They tried 1 time to the left, they got 2 yards. Not that their running game is very good. Well, heck, they've only done what? They've run 15 times?
Yeah.
15 times? That's not near enough when you got a running back like Corey Dillon.
And Achilles Smith didn't like like what he saw, steps back, calls timeout. Angels, the Arizona Diamondbacks will be home against the St. Louis Cardinals. Check your local listings. October is a magical month on Fox. You know that, Bill.
Very magical. That's all sports, all the time.
Oh, you love it. Anthony McFarland, he doesn't get nearly the credit, perhaps, that he deserves. He's really playing well because everyone looks to Warren Sapp, and Simeon Rice has got the good sacks, but McFarland is really good player. He's turning into a real good one.
Well, the one thing that he has that Warren doesn't have is he has the strength to shield off blockers. And he can stand there, take on the double team, and then shed a guy and make a tackle.
Here's 3rd and 2 for the Bengals. Dillon gets the first down. He may have stumbled down on his own. He did, so he scrambled forward for a couple of more, and he gets up applauding because the Bengals offense finally got a first down. Their last 7 series prior to this one, they'd had 6 3-and-outs and 1 interception.
And they run right at the middle of the defense. And that's where I think that the game plan should have been all along, at least from the early onset. Now, when you get down by a couple of touchdowns, you're forced to change up a little bit and make some plays in the passing game.
On the 28, fake the draw. Achilles Smith throwing wide open. He's got Peter Warrick spun down by Dexter Jackson at the 19-yard line. The fans come alive as Achilles Smith hooks up with Warrick for 10 yards.
And they come with the play action here. Watch, here's the fake to Dillon into the line, and that occupies the linebackers just for a minute. And that allows Warrick to get behind the linebackers. You see Derek Brooks, he was sitting in there looking, there's a run coming, and then Warrick slides behind him. Now you're behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties, and that's where Keeley had time to find him.
Give him 12 yards on the play, and the first down at the 16. Warrick went in motion. Corey Dillon following Lorenzo Neal. Turns the corner. Out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Dexter Jackson chased him out.
No, just take this sequence here, Sam, of the last 4 or 5 plays. Now, you understand what happens? You see, you're saying, oh, look, things are happening now. Well, things are happening now because Corey Dillon got going, because you ran downhill with these guys, and it occupies a lot of things. Then off of that, you come with the play action, then you have a fake reverse. These things all transcend off Corey Dillon running downhill.
First time today the Bengals offense has been in the red zone inside the 20-yard line. Off the play fake, Smith, nobody open, throws it away. Nobody open at all.
Wide side of the field. Here's a wide side of the field. They're going to fake a run to Corey Dillon to the wide side of the field. I want you to watch these guys right here. Watch this guy and this guy. Watch when Dillon starts out this way. Well, look at that. Oh, hey, look at that. Look what happened. They're honoring Corey Dillon. Imagine that, Sam. No, imagine that. They're saying, wow, Corey Dillon can beat us. We better get a jump on the ball. And then you run a play action or you run a bootleg out the back. That's real difficult stuff, isn't it?
3rd and 5 for the Bengals at the 11-yard line. Empty backfield. Blitz coming. Brooks has got him. And that's what happens.
No, that's what happens when you go empty backfield.
Yeah. And especially with a relatively inexperienced quarterback.
Right. Absolutely. When you see Brooks cheating to the line of scrimmage and you've got no help, now you know you've got to get out of there now. You've got to get out of there now, or that ball's got to get out of there now.
Second sack of the game for the Bucs. First of the season for the perennial Pro Bowler, Derek Brooks. Came off the hamstring pull and was fine this week. Bengals going for it on 4th down. They have to get to the 6-yard line. Dillon and Bennett in the backfield.
They stayed in the huddle too long, Sam.
5 yards. It's still 4th down.
And they move him back to the 24.
They're going to kick a field goal.
Neil Rackers will come on as Dick LeBeau talk things over with John Kitna, the backup quarterback. Rackers is 3 for 3 this season. Was perfect in preseason as he held on to his job, pressured by draft pick Travis Dorsch. This is a 41-yard attempt out of the hold of Nick Harris. And it's whistled down.
Sam.
Delay of the game
They did it again.
Yeah.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards.
What's going on here?
Sam, as Darnay Scott.
They were just at the 11-yard line, and now they're backed up to the 30-yard line.
As Darnay Scott and Pickens told me a few years back, it's the Bengal way.
Oh, boy. 46-yard attempt. Brad St. Louis, the snapper. The hold is good. The kick is short. Never got going at all. Oh. And the Bengals just played their way out of points. They were at the 11-yard line, took a sack, and took 2 delay of game penalties.
Well, I can take you back to the first quarter, and the intentional grounding by Achilles Smith cost him 3 points. The slip outside by number 84, that cost him 3 points as well. And then this getting backed up on 2 delay games has almost killed him.
Rackers never got into that at all.
That poor defense.
Never had a chance.
That poor defense. I'm telling you, I really feel bad for him.
And the Bucs empty the backfield. And the pass batted down, intercepted. Oliver Gibson with the interception off the tip pass.
Justin Smith
and the Bengals get it back.
Justin Smith got upfield, Sam. He stays outside uncontained, and he gets upfield quick. And just as Brad Johnson starts to throw it, here he is right here. He's going to get up and gets his hands up. He stays out wide.
First career interception for Oliver Gibson. There's the tip. Alert play by Gibson. And the 3rd turnover of the game by the Bengals, who had none coming in.
Cornell Green, the young offensive tackle there, tried to cut the defensive end, what you're supposed to do on that smoke route. He didn't get him cut.
Warwick in motion, the toss to Dillon. Lorenzo Neal leads him. Good effort by Dillon as he lunges forward to the 22-yard line.
And that's the best run of the day they've had outside. They get some perimeter blocking, actually, and then they get the push to the outside. They get some push on this way. Watch this. Willie Anderson comes outside. He starts leading away. There's the big push, and then you get a seal here by Lorenzo Neal, and then you have a little bit of room. That's their best run outside today.
Nicholas Lucci, an H-back and part-time fullback, is out to the right side. Also have Schobel, the tight end. Dillon forces his way through the pile across the 20 down to the 19-yard line. Greg Spires made the tackle. Late 3rd quarter. Tampa Bay with a big lead. They've had scored 28 unanswered points. The Bengals' only points of the game provided by the defense on an interception and return for a touchdown by Brian Simmons. Have to get to the 16 for a first down. Dillon tripped up. Singleton got the first piece of him. And it's short of a first down. He got a yard on the play. And it'll bring up 4th down. So that time they stayed with the run, Bill. And they're still short of the first down.
Yeah, they are. And they didn't get any push, and they went outside, and they tried to do some things. And you know what? If I was Dick LeBeau, every time I was in, I just continue to run the ball.
Are you surprised that Achilles Smith hasn't run more?
Yeah, they haven't used him moving the pocket as much. They haven't used that little play where it was designed for him to run. They didn't use that but once.
4th and 2. There's Smith rolling. Does he have enough room? He got the first down. Spun down by John Lynch, but he got enough. Got to the 15-yard line.
Well, that's the things you'd want to see if you put Achilles Smith in. If I put Achilles Smith in, I'd implement more of this. I'd want to see the pocket move. I'd want to see the bootlegs. I'd want to see him run.
And it spreads out the defense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it takes a little sting out of that defense.
First down, Bengals at the 15-yard line. Neal and Bennett in the backfield. Schobel shifting. And we come to the end of the third quarter. So the Cincinnati Bengals trying desperately to score some points on offense and try to get Bengals 28-7. Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss, and the Bengals, it seems to me, Bill, want desperately to push something in offensively.
Desperate is a good word when you talk about the Bengals, Sam, and especially offensively. I can't tell you enough how bad I feel for their defense. Having to be out there on the field all that time, they come off to the sidelines to get a quick glass of water, a little oxygen, and they're right back out on the field. You talked about it earlier in the game, 8 3-and-outs, and that doesn't give any time for a defense to be effective.
From the 15-yard line, Keely Smith checking off. He's got Dillon and Neal in the backfield. It's Corey Dillon with a little cutback inside the 15, down close to the 12-yard line. John Lynch in on the tackle. Lynch has had 5 consecutive seasons of over 100 tackles. Another perennial Pro Bowler. They've got a lot of stars on this defense, don't they? Lynch and Barber and Sapp and Rice and Brooks.
Well, you know, when you got those front 4 guys.
And they've got Keely Smith, then it's John Lynch. 3rd sack of the game for Tampa Bay.
When you have those front 4 guys, you make everybody else better. Not that they're not good, Lynch and Brooks, not that they're not good, but if you put them in different teams, there's Lynch right there. There's John Lynch walking up into the box like you so often see him doing. They bring Simeon Rice down inside, they bring him off the edge, and that was a designed run by Keely Smith, but there was nobody there to pick it up.
Levi Jones, the rookie out of Arizona State, is in at left tackle. For Cincinnati, here comes the all-out blitz. Smith throws, intercepted, no, dropped by Brian Kelly. He had the interception and dropped it. Pass intended for Chad Johnson was thrown off the mark.
Sam, you know, normally you try to get there as a defensive lineman under 3 seconds to the quarterback. And a quarterback usually thinks, well, I've got more than 3 seconds, you know, if my line does their job. Look how fast the pressure is at Keely Smith. They're forcing him to throw the ball. He doesn't even get a chance to get to his 3rd step on his drop. The pressure is coming. He is looking to get rid of the ball in a matter of 2 seconds. You can't operate any offense by getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds.
Have to get to the 5-yard line for a 1st down. This is a 4th down play. Smith being rushed by Sapp and McFarland. He throws into the end zone. Incomplete. Johnson made the catch, but out of bounds.
I don't know if I wouldn't challenge that.
Great effort by Chad Johnston. He was covered by Dexter Jackson. He made a good catch, but he came down out of bounds.
Yeah, his feet, you know, that's the thing where his feet does. He hung onto the ball. I don't know. Yeah.
He wants to say that he was pushed in the air.
Well, watch the feet. I think that's the thing.
He loses the ball. He must hold it. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass.
All right. Jerry Austin explaining he came down, did not hold on to the ball.
Well, if he gets pushed out right here, yeah, that's the thing. He has to hold on to it. Pushed out.
The Bucs take over from their own 17. Michael Pittman gets up close to the 20-yard line. Let's take another look at that play.
You know what the heck? I think I would have challenged it, because what the rule is when you catch the ball and you come down on the ground, if the ball hits the ground first, do you possess it? But watch what hits the ground before. Right here, he gets pushed out. Now, he has possession of the ball there. His feet hit, although they're out of bounds. Right. He is being pushed out. That is possession. He is pushed out. Now he comes down. His butt hits the ground, which is still possession. Then the ball hits the ground and comes out. I think that should be a touchdown for being pushed out, because he had possession when his feet hit the ground.
Pittman gets up to the 25-yard line. Kind of surprised that the Bengals wouldn't challenge.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of time, you know, because they had a commercial, and they didn't resume play. But the thing is was he pushed out when he had possession? And I think right here, when he pulls it into his body, I think that's possession. And right here, he's getting pushed out.
So he can't come down with his feet.
Now the ball, but the ball is possessed right there. Now his butt hits, then the ball hits the ground, then it comes out.
I think when getting it down, he had possession.
Blitz on Johnson, gets rid of it to Allstott. He dropped it. Turned his head at the last second, just before that ball came down, and missed it. Would have been enough for a first down, and the Bucs are forced to punt. So another good defensive series for Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's defense is really...
They compete.
They're pretty good. If they had any kind of help from the offense at all to complement them, they'd be much better.
Line drive punt by Tupa. Flags on the play. Returned by Peter Warwick up to the 47-yard line. We'll check out the flags, one on each side of the field.
How many men did Cincinnati have on the field?
Again.
I think that's the question again.
There it is.
Yeah, I think they had 12 men out there on punt return.
Now you're saying it's Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay had 12?
Jerry Austin pointed at Tampa Bay. John Gruden said no, it should be against Cincinnati. John Gruden not wearing the striped shirt here. All right, Jerry.
Too many men on the field on the receiving team.
Yeah.
Second time in the game.
Penalty. Result of the penalty will be a first down at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't think they got. I don't think Tony Williams. Right here is Tony Williams. That's 94 running off the field when the ball is snapped, and I think that's why they have 12 guys out there, and that's why that flag was thrown. Boy, that's rough. What else could go wrong for Cincinnati?
Dick LeBeau talking again to the side judge as the Bucs accept the penalty. And it's enough for a first down. The 5-yard penalty gives them a first down. It was 4th and 2. So another mistake by the Bengals. There are reasons teams are 0-3 and bad 0-3. Bengals haven't been close in any game.
I think it's safe to say 0-4, Sam.
Okay.
Pittman for a couple of yards.
I'm just going out on a limb here. You know,
you are.
I don't know what I'm basing it on, just a hunch, but I think it's safe to say 0-4.
Pittman got about 3 on the play. But getting back to what we were talking about, the Bengals defense competes. They've got some players that play hard and make some good plays. But the offense just hasn't been able to sustain any drives and keep them off the field.
I think they've got a heck of a corner in Artrell Hawkins and obviously Takeo Spikes and Brian Simmons, quality linebackers. I love the way Justin Smith plays.
McCardell is in motion. Brad Johnson, flag on the play, swings it to Allstott. Lowers his head and bangs hard into Artrell Hawkins. Comes up a yard short of the first down. And Jerry Austin checks out the flag for us.
Offside on the offense. Number 32 is lined up over the line of scrimmage. 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
Pittman shifted. And he talks to Jerry Austin about it. See the numbers on Brad Johnson. 1 negative, 2 interceptions. Had not thrown an interception in the first 3 games, but 3 touchdown passes. 3 different receivers: McCardell, Dilger, and Dudley. Still second down for Tampa Bay at their own 27. Keyshawn Johnson goes up the ladder to grab it. It's a first down for Tampa Bay. 5th catch of the game for Keyshawn.
And what a throw to what a throw. Absolutely, what a throw by Brad Johnson. And there were some defenders around. I mean, he had to put that ball right on the money. And this, to me, is where Keyshawn Johnson is really good. When he comes across the middle of the defense, and he's a guy that'll take it. He'll go up after the ball. He's not cared about it. He doesn't care about his body. He doesn't care about who's going to hit him. He comes down with the tough catches in that part of the field.
Tight end Ricky Dudley was out to the right. Pittman spins, but he's brought down. Back at the line of scrimmage, Brian Simmons, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
Hey, you know what, Sam? You know a guy who doesn't get enough credit? He's been all over the place, and I really like Brad Johnson. I think this guy is really something else. You talk to him, you're around him. He's, whatever he is, 35-year-old high school senior. He wears his sweatpants, his sweatpants. He is. He doesn't play this game for the glamour and the glitz and I'm a Hollywood star or I'm somebody. He just loves to play.
Off the blitz, a wobbly pass caught by Johnson, out of bounds. Did not come down with both feet in bounds. Artrell Hawkins was covering on the play, and Keyshawn had to wait for that wobbler to get to him.
In today's day and age of quarterbacks and money and Donovan McNabb and $115 million, and hey, it's serious. And you put all those guys in the room, and there's Brad Johnson. You talk to Brad Johnson. He is as much as a normal guy as you could possibly ever come across.
Down to earth and ready to play in whatever system, do whatever the coach wants of him. I agree with you. Have to get to the Cincinnati 47 for a first down. The blitz is picked up. The pass low, sliding was Keyshawn, and it's incomplete.
I'll tell you another thing, too, is Brad Johnson has taken a lot of shots today.
Keyshawn Johnson upset with Corey Hall, and some flags come in.
Brad Johnson has got banged around a little bit today. Now, the past couple weeks, he didn't take too many hits against St. Louis. He didn't take too many hits against Baltimore. But against New Orleans week 1, he got slapped around. And again today.
19 of the offense after the play is over. 15 yards. It'll be fourth down.
Keyshawn Johnson is called for the penalty. Upset with Corey Hall and got up and shoved him. And he got flagged.
Probably upset a little bit right now at himself for doing that more than anything. More than anything, he's probably upset at himself for doing it. And one of the things that Gruden talked about after last week's blow-up on the sideline was everybody, Keyshawn and himself, having better emotional control.
Look at this punt by Tom Tupa. Corey Ivy lets it roll to a stop at the Cincinnati 9. A line drive punt by Tom Tupa. 64 yards, and the Bengals are back deep in their own territory. So have the Rams and the 49ers on the regional action. On first down, Akita Smith with the completion of Peter Warrick up to the 33-yard line. Bengals will be at Indianapolis next week. Tampa Bay will be home to Cleveland next week. Hurry-up offense for the Bengals. Trail by 21 points. 24-yard pickup on that last play.
Anywhere you want me. Anywhere you want me.
Smith completes to Hushmanzada up to the 42-yard line. DJ Hushmanzada with his second catch of the game. And again, no huddle. 2 plays have picked up 32 yards, maybe 34 yards. Straight ahead goes Corey Dillon. And he's taken down by Rondé Barber.
Sam, right now, the score should be 28-26. Or I can't say that for Tampa Bay, but Cincinnati should have 26 points.
How do you figure?
Well, I go back to the first quarter. You had the intentional grounding by Keely Smith, and when they were in field goal, that was at least 3. You had Hushmanzada slip on a pass that would have put him in there for 3 points. And then you had the delay of games, all the delay of games for the kicker. They went out. So that moved them back. There's 9 points. And then if they would have challenged that call down there, I believe that was a touchdown. That's another 16 points. The Bengals have hurt themselves completely. This is all their fault. From managing the clock,
without a doubt.
From managing the clock, from coaching decisions on whether to challenge a play, from the mistakes by the players, the quarterback.
Here comes the blitz, the handoff to Corey Dillon. Nice run. He's got a first down. To the Tampa Bay 44. They changed it up. Time for an update. Back to the studio to JB.
Sam and Bill, Arizona trying to make New York pay for some bad decisions. Jake Plummer back, having to scramble for his life, running, throws it, hooks up with Marcel Shipp. 7-yard strike is good for the score. 14-7. Arizona over the Giants. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thank you. Thanks, JB. I wonder what they're going to do with Plummer after the season.
Why? Because people are upset with him?
Oh, yeah, and they owe him a big bonus if they're going to keep him for the next part of his contract. You know, they've got to make a decision. Heck, I've always thought the guy was a heck of a playmaker. I'd like to have him on a team.
They need to make the playoffs this year. Second down. Loss of 2 on that last play. Smith with a short drop pass outside. It was caught by Peter Warwick, but Dwight Smith right on him, taking him down at the 45-yard line.
Take a look at sputtering offenses, Sam. This is points just through week 3. Not counting this week. Look where Cincinnati ranks.
And the offense hasn't scored today. The defense scored. Warren Sapp with the sack, knocked the ball loose, and the fumble recovered by the Bucs. Sapp came in strong and just hammered the ball out of Akili Smith's hands.
Look where Warren Sapp lines up here. He's going to come to the right side. He's going to be all the way over there. Sam, there's Sapp on the outside, working through and around, and he gets that yank of the shoulders down on the guard and clears and strips the ball over the top.
Rob Johnson is in at quarterback for Tampa Bay and hands off to Michael Pittman. Pittman down to the 42-yard line. Brad Johnson goes to the sideline after a good day with time winding down. Rob Johnson making his first appearance of the season. The 8th-year man, 3 years in Jacksonville, the last 4 seasons in Buffalo. And here is the number 2 quarterback for the Buccaneers. Wearing the masks, the bags.
I haven't seen that since the 80s.
That's right. This Cincinnati franchise has not had a winning season since 1990. Michael Pittman tripped up, otherwise he was gone to the house. He stumbled and fell down at the 22, a 17-yard run for Michael Pittman.
Yeah, and this is smart. This is very smart by John Gruden in getting Johnson, the other Johnson, Rob Johnson, some reps with the starting unit. Because somewhere along the line, as the season unfolds and you get later and towards the playoffs and you have a good team, if you put all your chips on one quarterback, just think about the last 3 Super Bowl winners, Sam.
Yep.
They've all been won by backup quarterbacks.
Corey Hall saved the touchdown with a tackle. Here's Johnson, Rob Johnson rolling right and running and going out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Justin Smith chased him out of bounds.
And you think about Tampa Bay over the years, you want to talk about completely different offensive mindset. Look at the yards per carry and how they've dropped.
Well, those years with Dunn and Allstott.
Yeah. Well, they've been dropping. You know, they made the change. Of course, last year tried to open it up more, and that didn't work. And then that was the exodus of Tony Dungy. But today, although it's gotten a little bit better against the Bengals defense, it's an area that they need to improve on.
Allstott's in at tailback with Darian Barnes, the fullback. Allstott carrying, breaks through the pile, stays on his feet. Look at Allstott drop the ball. It goes out of bounds.
And that was all Allstott.
All power of Mike Allstott, and went out of bounds at around the 6-yard line.
Sam, take a look. That's all Mike Allstott, because Cozy Coleman missed his block at the line of scrimmage. And Allstott got up in there and just started running people over. And once he starts feeling like the A-train and he gets those knees churning and he hits that first person at the line of scrimmage and is able to bounce around and keep his balance and drop one arm to the ground, I mean, that's what gets this team fired up. They get in a mode now when they see Allstott run like that.
Spotted at the 7-yard line, 1st and goal. Allstott goes inside to about the 5. The Bucs closing in on 100 yards rushing for the game. Pittman, 19 carries, 54 yards, leading the way. Michael Pittman, in his first year with the Bucs. Brad Johnson, 19 for 30, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns. The one negative, the 2 interceptions. Allstott, 5 carries, 23 yards. He's the lone setback. Blitz coming. The toss to Allstott's got a couple of blockers. Makes the cut. Down to the 1 to the goal line. He's just short of the goal line. Inside the 1-yard line. Brian Simmons holding on to Mike Allstott, brought him down.
Yes, he was being tackled. He extended that ball forward, but I think his knee touched down before that ball crossed the plane, and that's why it was stopped short. But again, that's Allstott and his desire to get up there, lower his pads. See where the knee hit before you extended the ball? Yeah, that was a good call there, but I think that was the side judge.
3rd and goal. Inside the 1, 3 tight ends are in. Darian Barnes, the fullback. Rob Johnson calls timeout.
Play clock got down to 2 seconds when he got under center. Didn't have enough time. Took a timeout.
5 Pacific. We could have the Yankees home against Anaheim, or we might have the Diamondbacks home against St. Louis. Check your local listings. Baseball playoffs on Fox. 3rd and goal inside the 1. Allstott straight ahead. He's in. Touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the season for Mike Allstott. And it was power. He was strong on that series, that possession. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put this game way, way out of reach.
And you want your guys to get their hands on the ball? Is there enough balls to go around? Well, when you have a blowout like this, you can bring in Rob Johnson. You can bring Allstott in and pound you. You can spread the ball around to everybody who wants to play.
Been a good effort for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No letdown today in Cincinnati for the Bucs. They fell behind in the 1st quarter. They have now scored 35 unanswered points, capped off by Allstott's 1-yard touchdown. Mike Allstott had 4 carries for 21 yards on that 7-play, 46-yard drive to a touchdown, and he capped it off with a 1-yard run. And the Bucs with the big 35-7 lead. Dramatica kicking off. Line drive coming down to Brandon Bennett at the 5. And he is grabbed and thrown down hard. Darian Barnes, number 30, gets up dancing. It's all Tampa Bay. Right now, time to think back to a great player who passed away this past week, one of the greatest centers of all time, if not the greatest, Mike Webster, who played on 4 Super Bowl champions with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The heart and soul of that offense, as Terry Bradshaw said many times. Powerful, strong, gutsy, determined Mike Webster, dead at the age of 50. Bill, he was a teammate of yours and an opponent of yours.
And a friend. I got to know Mike very, very well from Pittsburgh, from going to college there, and lifting with him and playing against him for all those years. And of course, he was a teammate of mine in Kansas City at the end.
Sorry, man.
I got to tell you, Sam, that not only was he a great player, he was just a great person. He was really a giving person. He would do things for anybody. He would go out of his way to do things and help out, no matter great lengths to help people, foundations and charities and friends and other players, even opponents. Or what a man. The world certainly is not a better place without Mike Webster.
A Hall of Famer. With that last run, Corey Dillon has become the all-time leading rusher in Cincinnati Bengals history, passing James Brooks. 21 carries, 59 yards for Corey Dillon. Achilles Smith throwing way down. He's got an open man in Chad Johnson, and again a little overthrown. Johnson's been open a couple of times with those go routes, and they just missed, just thrown a little too long. And part of that could be timing. They haven't worked together all that much in practice.
And part of it is will, too, Sam. Part of it's will. When you go through the last few years the Bengals have gone through, and when you go through the last 3 games and this game here, the 4th game that they've gone through, it certainly takes the will out of you.
The cheers are for Corey Dillon. who has gone to the sideline. The announcement to the crowd that he is now the all-time leading rusher. Brandon Bennett hit hard after he caught that pass. Rondé Barber with the hit. There's Corey Dillon. And though he set the record, he certainly is frustrated. James Brooks is the man who had the record, having played 8 seasons. He was the leading rusher on the Bengals for 4 of those 8. Played in the Super Bowl with the Bengals.
You know, you think of all-time leading Bengal rusher, you know, and you think, like, gosh, Corey Dillon just seems like he just got here. But this is his 6th year, and his first 5 he's had 1,000-yard seasons. If he gets 1,000 yards this year, in his 6 years, first 6 years, 1,000 yards each season, that would put him in an elite class.
He'd only be the 4th running back to ever do that.
And you know what? No matter how good he's doing or how great he feels or whatever his contract is, there's no way he can feel anything positive about what's going on today.
2-minute warning. Feeling good on the Tampa Bay sideline. Well, they should. Keyshawn Johnson's been working the field judge. I think he's still upset about that personal foul that was called on him earlier. Brandon Bennett straight ahead up to the 32-yard line on 4th down, and he made the first down. So the Bengals make the change at quarterback. It does not jumpstart the offense. They turn the ball over twice. The defense scored the only points of the game for them. And it'll be up to Achilles Smith to find a way and get more work and try to get this offense going. They'll be in Indianapolis next week. Screen to Bennett. Picked up a couple of blocks. Gets up to the 43-yard line, close to the first down. Al Singleton with the tackle. For Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay will be home against Cleveland. Well, we have a delay because some yokel has jumped out of the stands.
But Sam, he rushed 85 yards.
Oh, I see. My apologies. Tampa Bay will be at Atlanta next week before going home to play Cleveland. This is a start of 4 games in 5 on the road for John Gruden's team. It's a good start because they did not let up. They've got a tough opponent next week. Atlanta has a bye week this week. Michael Vick did a great job last week against Cincinnati. Warwick Dunn, the former Buck, you think he'll be pumped up for that game?
Oh, no question about it.
The leader of the defense, keep cooking.
I want to know when. You know what I want to say? I want to know when Buffalo goes back to New England. One of those.
Oh boy. Achilles Smith going long. He's got Chad Johnson open. He fell down. He has been open deep 3 times, and they have just missed connecting all 3 times. This time, Chad Johnson spun around, twisted, and fell down.
Ball's a little underthrown. That's why Chad had to turn around like that. But, you know, Bengals have had opportunities, Sam. When I know that's hard to say when you look at the score right now, 35-7, but I could go back and recount them for you.
They had good field position early and didn't take advantage of it.
And they kept, when they were in scoring zone 3 times, they moved backwards and took themselves out of points.
Smith being rushed, dumps it off, completes it to Nicholas Lucci. Lucci is pulled down at the Bucs 42. Don't forget, on Fox tonight at 7 o'clock, it's The Simpsons, followed by The Matrix. It's a good movie. Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne. It's on Fox tonight. Achilles Smith being rushed. Pass incomplete.
You know, Sam, I want to say that I'm very, very impressed with the mental state of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's a big thing. Because many times we've seen this Buccaneers team over the years come off of emotional games and not know how to handle those emotions, not to be professional in their approach to playing a Cincinnati. And they've struggled with that throughout the years. As they've matured, I think along with Warren Sapp and the guys, that is the emotional battery I think Warren Sapp And I got to credit him and Gruden for what they've done to this team to keep them playing at such a high level.
Bucks are 3-1. They tie New Orleans and Carolina for first place in the NFC South. Atlanta's 1-2, and Atlanta will be home to Tampa Bay next week. So a good start for John Gruden's team.
You got guys on the sideline taking their pads off. We have the second teamers in. We have the second string quarterback in. Heck, this is like the University of Miami. You know, and some of their opponents.
You got the defensive line defensive line star hugging the offensive line coach.
You know something? That's when you know all is well in Tampa Bay.
That's right.
You normally don't see that, trust me.
9 seconds to go. Smith looking to go deep. Airs it out. All the way down for Ron Duggins, and it's knocked down in the end zone. And that's it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a tremendous defensive effort. They gave up no points. The defense did not give up a point. Cincinnati's touchdown came on an interception in return. They led, the Bengals did, 7-0 out of the first quarter. And then the defense sparked the offense for Tampa Bay, and the offense put points on the board. It's all over.